Hello everyone. Welcome to many series about practicing English by sharing technique. The topic is ways to make studying more powerful. Powerful. Many students ask VOA learning English about studying. They want to know the best ways to improve their learning. This week's education tips, we will explore four methods you can use: focusing, testing yourself, interleaving, and teaching. One of the best ways to organize your study section is to use the Pomodoro technique. It is the powerful but simple method that helps people focus on a task. The idea is to use a timer. Let's say you set a timer for 20 minutes and focus only on your studies during that time. You cannot check email, send text messages, or do anything aside from your task. When the timer goes off, you can reward yourself by listening to some music or having a drink of tea. You can repeat a process as many times as needed. If you would like to learn more details about Pomodoro technique, you can read a previous education tips story on our website, learningenglish.voanews.com. When you are studying, you should test yourself often. If you are using a textbook, then you can do practice questions from the end of each chapter, as we suggested in an earlier education tips. You can also try all kinds of online tests and quizzes for many subjects. Flashcards are another tool in the free flashcard programs, or you could use pieces of paper. The point is that you make your questions somewhat difficult and the practice with them regularly. But you should be carefully about flashcards. Think carefully about making different kinds of questions. Many language learners put vocabulary words on one side of flashcards and definition on the back. Every flashcard suggests basic sub question. What does this word mean? Well, it is useful to remember what different words mean. Be sure to make other kinds of questions. Why questions or how questions, for example. So you might ask, why are determiners important? Or how can I tell the difference between the progressive tense and simple tense? When most people study, they do blocked practice. In other words, they only study one topic at a time. But research suggests that a different kind of practice in interleave practice, may be better for long-term learning. Interleaving is a technique that means you mix different topics. So, for example, you one study section, you might spend time testing yourself on vocabulary words and test yourself on grammar. Or if studying math, you could mix multiplication division problems. A 2020 study published in the Journal of Educational Psychology found that Interleaf study as was much better than blocked practice. The study estimated 54/7 math classes over a period of 4 months. Some classes did interleave assignments while other classes did plot assignments. 1 month later, students took a surprise test. The results were powerful. The interleave group outscored the plot group 61%, whereas 61% whereas, uh, whereas 38%, the researchers wrote. Teaching is also a powerful way to learn. In study published in contemporary education psychology, researchers compared different groups of studies. Some students did not expect to have to teach information, while others did. Researcher Fiola and Mayer wrote that when students actually teach a lesson, they develop a deeper and more persistent understanding of material than from solely preparing to teach. And Guardian newspaper, David Rosen points out ways to teach others even if you are alone. If you don't have a willing partner, you could imagine describing it to someone or draft an email setting out what you learned in as much detail as possible. Rosen wrote. You can put all this technique together to make a powerful study plan. For example, you might organize your study sections with the Pomodoro technique. Uh, Pomodoro, Pomodoro technique. Then you can test yourself and interleave different topics. After that, you could take a break, reward yourself, and do another Pomodoro session. There are many options. You can create your own plan based on what you need to learn. But what you will realize is that when you focus and do tasks that um, that are at the right difficulty level, the brain will become tired. Some days you will you might only able to do one 20 minute session, for example. Other days you might do many 20-minute sessions. After all that mental training, you will surely need to rest and recover. We will explore that topic in the future education tips story. I'm Gwen. Thanks for listening. Bye.